I probably should start with putting on pants before I go walking through the house.
It's a good thing we're not on camera. Sheesh.
I was like, I'll just like film the top, leave the bottom off.
I think this is the first interview we've ever done where the guest is busy getting dressed and contemplating having some food, and it's awesome. I love it.
Well, I do have pants on now, just so you know. This is not a pantless interview.
No, I'm glad you put that together. But how was your day though?
It was pretty good actually. It was really easy at work. I have a little job next to the music thing. It's actually with the company that vaccinates people here in the Netherlands.
Do you have to inject people with the vaccine, or like what's your role?
No, I don't have the education for that. So I just do administration on their end.
And are there a lot of people that are coming through to vaccinate, or?
I think we had our peak in June, and now it's pretty quiet. I have loads of time to relax and ease the mind at work. Think about my new music projects.
How do you find sort of having to balance both work and your music career? Like, is it super easy for you, or is it something that's kind of difficult in a way?
Honestly, I think it's horrible. I'll just start off with a little bit of background info, how this all happened, how I got this job. So about 2020, I think, I quit my job at a restaurant, and I invested all my savings in the studio and like a good PA system. And I made these flyers for auditions to start a band. Like I was really focusing on music, and I was like, this is going to be my year, you know? No other jobs, just fully on focusing on music. And then the ball should start rolling, things should start happening, you know. And then Corona came, and that kind of messed it all up. So I just try to keep positive, like maybe it will pass, maybe it will be a month tops, maybe 2, you know.
Yeah.
And I think my good hopes kind of broke a few months ago, and then I got offered to do this job, so I kind of got my heart broken a little bit and decided to focus my attention elsewhere to get some money, because I'm broke as fuck, you know.
No, it happens to all of us. Like I can tell you now, like I'm not doing this podcasting thing as like a solo thing. I've also got a job, and I think it sort of teaches us to sort of like tolerance, basically. Like you gotta tolerate your day job in order to be able to fund your passion project that you sort of doing on the side, you know. And I think it's sort of like you need that balance, because then like I feel like when you're at work, you know, you sort of would rather be making music, you know, as an artist, but then it's sort of like, you know, that time away from the music, you might find some inspiration or something might happen, and then you miss the music, and then when you get back to making music, it's like, you know, it just sort of adds more value to it. I don't know if that's the vibe. Like, do you sort of get that as well?
Yeah, for sure. It's like it's definitely a drive to do more of music in my free time, but at the moment I'm like hustling 5 things. I'm also trying to do a social media marketing course to step up my game. I've got the music thing going on. I actually am working on designing earrings, like for a home web shop.
Nice.
Because I really want to build something next to this. Like the job I have now, it's like a part-time thing, I hope, you know. I really want to get on with creative stuff. So I'm just like saving up money and on the side, just grinding hard as hell. I do feel what you're saying. When I was like fully focusing on music, I was kind of actually not even busy with music that much. It was just all the social media around it, and just trying to find connections and networking and finding producers. And it's just so much to do all by yourself if you really want to establish like a brand. So I do feel a bit liberated from that at this moment.
Like, how's the situation out there in the Netherlands? Like, is it like, are there like a lot of job opportunities? Because I know here in South Africa, you know, there's a lot of like youth unemployment. Like the unemployment rate for the youth is like really high here. So that side, is it a lot easier to sort of just get a job, or is it also, you know, fairly difficult?
Well, the whole entertainment business and like events and stuff and festivals, like everything died over here. But Also, Corona created new jobs. I met a couple of other musicians and people from all walks of life that are working at the vaccination locations, which is so funny to me. Everyone's hustling, but there are also new opportunities. And I think there's a lot of new companies forming, but it's difficult. It's difficult to get a job. I feel like our market has always been pretty saturated, and it's always a challenge. But if you want to work at the vaccination location, they're probably still looking for people.
Yeah, that was like we advertising right now. So if anyone is listening,
No.
and is in the Netherlands, please guys apply.
If you want to keep your soul, don't.
Oh, let's hope they don't hear this. If anyone who's an official at the place, let's hope they don't hear that.
I mean, I provide excellent services, but my mind is just exploding every second of the day with all these creative ideas. So I think everyone around me at work also knows that I'm kind of misplaced there. I still do a good job, and the people are lovely. Everyone's good. The organization is good, but I am just dying to get out there and like perform and make stuff. I'm like this little bouncy ball stuck in a cage.
This reminds me of my how I basically discovered you. It was a YouTube a video for your track Dysfunctional, if I'm not mistaken. And then and at that time it's crazy because I think we were like the 300th subscriber. I checked and it's on whatnot like 325 or so, which is massive in YouTube numbers. Like even like 2 YouTube subscribers is the equivalent of like 50 Facebook likes or something. That's how crazy it is. So how have you managed? Hard. Yeah, it's really difficult. How have you managed to sort of scale? Like 320 something is massive. How did you manage to pull that off?
Well, I mean, I'm so happy to hear you say that because I was like, holy shit, I put all this effort in. I can't even get to 1,000. Like more than 1,000 people follow me on Instagram. I have like a shitload of Facebook friends. Why is it so hard to just get 1,000 subscribers and I don't know, get picked up in an algorithm or some shit? But oh dude, I grinded so hard for this one. You know what I did? I just like I think that's the message I sent to you. I just like wrote something in my notes like, hey, just like I'm dying out here, please support me. I need to make some bread. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel so I can maybe start earning some money out of my own productions and stuff. And I've sent it to all of my followers. At least I almost got to 100%. It was just draining. I sent it to like 80% of all my followers, and I also replied to everyone, like try to make a personal connection and stuff. And it was actually really fun, but I was busy with it for like 2 days, but it kind of worked, I guess. I mean, if you think that's a massive load of followers, then I did the right thing.
Talk about dedication, hey? It just really shows how invested you are in this for you to actually go through, your followers and send the message to every single person. The dedication is incredible.
Yes, that was me. I was spamming all of your asses.
Let's touch a bit on Dysfunctional. You obviously mentioned there in the description, that you were diagnosed as having ADD and whatnot, and not wanting to fit into like, social constructs and everything like that there. So with Dysfunctional, as a track, as a music video and stuff, is this something that was sort of going through your mind as you were writing it and creating it? Let me in on the whole creative process behind it.
Yeah, well, I started writing Dysfunctional like years ago. I write a lot of stuff. I have like 100,000 of notes with lyrics, and I actually started writing that one when I was pretty messed up. I was like running around with a chicken without a head. It's like just trying to make ends work. I was working so hard on my mental health, and I was like, how do people do this? I keep on forgetting my shit. I'm late for shit. I know I have such potential, but I can't get it out anywhere, And just all these people seem to be like fully on functioning and just living their lives right next to me. And I couldn't figure out how to do it. So it was like this just funny approach. I'm always like quite the comedian, if I say so myself. So I was just like, sometimes I go to the toilet, I forget to flush, or sometimes I put my shoes on without having my pants on. Like my mind is scattered sometimes, especially when I'm stressed or anxious. I'm just a bit messy, so that's where the inspiration came from.
Can I just
What?
say sorry to sort of jump in there, but
Oh, no
going
worries.
to the toilet to pee or whatever and not flushing. I forget to flush myself
Really?
at times, so it is definitely not any kind of disorder. It's super normal.
Also, number twos.
Okay, I don't know about those, but I'm kidding, I'm kidding, I'm kidding.
It's just when
Anyways,
there's
yeah.
too much distraction in the bathroom, I just like wander off. Well, yeah. So that was like basically kind of the inspiration behind it, and I was just tired. I was just like being a little messy mess, and that's where Dysfunctional came from. And then just years later, someone just gave me a beat, and then I fully on finished it. And it's like kind of a lighthearted, funny approach to it. But man, I was struggling. But currently, I'm in a way better headspace. So the song turned out to be quite uplifting for me.
Yeah, you even mentioned, there's probably the first line that you mentioned in there that really caught my attention when you say, I wish I had a beard to hide my double chin. And then you obviously also link that up, in the description of the track where you like, you ate a lot of junk food and all of that there. So obviously,
Yeah.
having the ADD and all that there, did you also sort of struggle with like weight issues or whatever? And if you did, how did you sort of overcome that? Because I know like mentally, you're able to, you make music, you're able to express yourself and talk about these things
Yeah.
and get over them. But with the physical aspects, that would require, different sort of means. So were you like overweight at that time, considering that this is something, mentioned about junk food and double chin and everything? And how did you sort of overcome that?
Yeah, I think I was quite on weight at that time I started writing it. I fluctuate a lot with my weight. It's crazy. Like I
Yeah.
think every other year I just kind of like gain 10 kilos and lose them. And it's just combines junk food with just like not eating because I'm working so much or just being sleepy as fuck. But I don't think I ever officially had like an eating disorder or something. It's never been that bad, but I did have emotional eating. Like I didn't know how to process my emotions, so I turned to alcohol, drugs, eating, fucking, everything that will spark a little bit of dopamine or serotonin. I would do it. So food was just one of those things.
I mean, I'm just glad, right now when you said that, you're in a better space right now. I'm actually so glad that you were able to overcome, any of the issues that you had. And I think it even serves as like inspiration for anyone who may be listening to this and maybe going through something, that you were able to sort of, overcome. It is possible to get over that kind of stuff. And I mean, you even inspiring me,
Yeah.
like last year, I got told that I've got anxiety. So that was what was diagnosed. And I was in a very like terrible headspace because I used to get like panic attacks and stuff like that there. But, hearing your
Yeah.
story of being able to sort of overcome something like that, it's also very helpful to a person like myself because then I just, it gives me hope
Oh.
that things can be a lot better. So thank you for that.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I was an absolute fucking mess, just so you know. I've been sober for 2 years now. I'm in a steady, stable, healthy, non-toxic relationship also for the first time in my life. I've got
Yeah.
quite some savings and I'm just like mentally stable. It's crazy to say this, but it's just this amazing new reality. But it definitely took loads of hard work, inner work, some soul searching. I traveled the world a bit. I spent a lot of time just staring at the fucking ceiling, like trying to connect the wires, like I could see all these things going wrong. And I was like, these are all these weird ass trauma responses, but what the fuck is the problem, And I just try to connect these dots. And I've just done years and years of mad thinking while being super depressed. And
Mm,
I think I found the light at the end of the tunnel one day.
yeah.
I just realized one day, I'm really fucking tired of just being so fucking tired of life.
Yeah.
And I decided I'm gonna just try to do everything positive. I'm just gonna say yes to everything. I'm trying to not bring myself down when I look at myself in the mirror, make it a compliment instead of winding it down. And just I bought these. This is like something really cute that's still in my room. I
Yeah.
bought these cute little butterflies that I stuck it to the wall above my bed. So every day when I woke up, I would see those butterflies, which symbol to me like you can do this, you can make it better. And it's just that daily reminder to wake up with like, you're going to
Mm.
get through this.
Yeah, as you were speaking there, I was taking notes. So you reckon then the remedy to someone like this or something that could help would be traveling the world, looking at things in a more positive light, and butterflies to stick up your ceiling as a symbol of hope.
Yeah, just like make a symbol for yourself. Maybe it's just a quote on your door that you walk past every day and you have to read it. Or like I tattooed something on my foot and it just says like, you are enough. And it's horribly ugly and faded, but every time I sit on the floor I just see like, you are enough. And
Mm.
it's just cute little reminders like that. Just give yourself that self-love that you deserve.
Yeah, that is very beautiful. You mentioned traveling the world there. Which places did you go to?
I have done a couple of countries in Europe, not by myself, but that always sparked some curiosity about the world. And at this point, when I was really, really fucking depressed, and I was on Ritalin for a year and doing a study that was hectic. I was like doing all the extra courses that I could. And then I like totally burnt out. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to fuck off to Australia.
Where all the spiders and snakes and creepy crawlies are.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fucking beautiful country. You might die, but I love a good thrill. But yeah, I was like, I wanted to get the fuck away from everything and just like maybe not leave everything behind, but just like have a clean start, see how far I can go. Maybe I'll die the first week because I can't take care of myself and I'm depressed, But it just sparked this whole new life energy inside of me. And it was truly amazing meeting these amazing people, open-minded people, like people that were on the same wavelength as me. And I think I really missed that too. Just like I came from a small town. I do have three best friends actually, but I come from a small town. And maybe I haven't found the right places yet, but I think Amsterdam would be pretty cool. But it could be quite narrow-minded. And in a place like Australia, I think you have like hippies on every corner of every street. And there's jam sessions on the beach, and just everything just seems so spiritual and open and beautiful. And I could really connect to that. Like I felt like there was more out there than the reality I had known before.
Can I tell you something crazy? I thought, when I saw the, what do you call this thing? The thumbnail. When I saw the thumbnail for Dysfunctional, I thought you were South African.
Really? Oh
Yeah,
God.
like weirdly enough, but then only to find out when we were chatting that you're from the Netherlands, such a beautiful place. Like we've had, I think two artists that were in bands that were from the Netherlands, that have been on, but I don't really get much insights on Netherlands as a place because it was more as like from a band perspective. So from someone who's from the Netherlands, like how is it that side? Like in general, let's focus maybe on the music scene. Obviously, it might be a bit messed up because of COVID, but pre-COVID, was there a thriving music scene that side?
I do think that's where the exciting things in Holland were happening. It's like the festivals, the underground scene is truly amazing. That also opened my eyes to a whole new world when I first went to a, what was it, drum and bass hardcore party. And I was like, holy shit, all these people are fucked up on drugs, but it's fucking amazing and everyone wants to cuddle you, and it's just amazing music from amazing DJs. And I mean that makes Holland, I think, is the great underground scene.
And do you like originate from Holland? Like were you born there? Is that like home?
Yeah, I was like born and bred in this small village
Oh,
that
that
I
is
still
so
live in
cool.
currently.
Just to put this into like perspective for anyone who's listening to the show, because there literally are no intros at this point. But I am chatting to 96 Music. I really want to know about that name because right now, okay, on Zoom, I've got Zwane. Let me attempt to say this surname. If I'm wrong, please correct me. Is it Pesco?
That's a fun one, but it's special. It
Oh my gosh.
originated from Austria, I think. So it's kind of like special.
So you've got some Austrian blood in you.
I think I'm half Austrian and a quarter German and a quarter Dutch, if
Have you
I'm correct.
have you ever been to Austria?
I think I might have been there on like a winter holiday once when I was really young, but like no vivid memories.
Now this is really interesting though, like with your names. Despite me butchering your last name, I apologize for that. I'm really sorry. But
It happens all the time.
with your stage name, 96 Music, how did you sort of start, or how did you come up with it?
Basically I was born and that was it. No, I was born on the 9th of June. So June is the 6th month. So on the 9th of the 6th in 96. So I thought something that never bores me is just like numbers. I'm kind of geeky like that. And I was like, this is the day I'm born in, I try to come up with all these crazy ass names and I'm like, this all sucks. And after a week, I hated all of them, This one, it kind of stuck. So I thought, you know what? This is like the core of who I am. Can't be wrong.
Are you into, what is it called? Is it astrology?
Yeah, I'm actually I'm
Yeah.
trying to educate myself.
So if you were born on the 9th, you said on the 9th of the 6th month, would that make you a
Yes.
Gemini?
Gemini sun, yeah.
Is that something, I mean, you did say it's something that you're interested in. I don't know what's the I don't know how you'd identify like a Gemini, their traits and stuff, but is that something, we'd be able to sort of, what can I say? Like, are there any things that you maybe read about your star sign that you actually realize later on after working on a track that, hang on, this is actually what that meant, or something like that?
Well, I mean, your sun sign is just like a small part of the whole being that is you. You have, I think, three major things that kind of define your character and who you are. It's your sun sign, your moon sign, and your rising. And after I found that out, and I did some, like, you should Google it once, like a natal chart or birth chart, and it'll give you all the positions of all the planets at the exact moment you were born, and it kind of describes your whole personality, and it's crazy. But yeah, after finding out, and even before finding that out, I am a mess. It's in the stars. You got Gemini, and Gemini is kind of like this, not really like in a negative way, two-faced, but it can go all sorts of ways, and it's kind of always looking for the next thing that drives them, mentally, because they're quite easily bored, and like it's an air sign, so it has to do with intelligence and thinking. And my moon sign is actually Pisces, and Pisces are super sensitive and emotional. They're like super in tune with their emotions. And the moon actually represents your emotional spectrum. So you have the sun, which kind of is like the building blocks. So I'm kind of like always on the drive, like trying to get more serotonin and dopamine. It's kind of in the being of being a Gemini. And then on the other side, I'm like super emotional and sensitive. And I can just have these really intense outbursts and get really attached to people, and it kind of like collapses on each other. It's kind of like two opposite worlds attract. Like the Gemini is kind of like this two-faced thing that collapses with itself all the time, and then you have the super emotional Pisces, and it kind of just like battles everything out because you do shit that makes you emotional. It's endless cycle of shit.
How do you figure out? I had no idea that you got your moon sign and your sun sign. Like what? How do you, like, what determines that? How do you actually find that out?
Well, you could just really just Google natal chart or birth chart, and you need to know exactly at what hour you were born, maybe even down to the minute. You can even see how you're in bed. You can see your Venus. That's like your sexual planet. Which, well,
Damn.
mine is also a Gemini, so I'm like a psycho. But no, like you can see every little bit of detail about everything. Like there's a planet for everything. Your dark inner demons, they're caught at Lilith somewhere. And it all
Sheesh.
depends on what position everything is in. It's too much. You need to look it up for yourself, and just you get a whole description of your whole character, and it's so accurate. It's crazy.
I'm gonna go
Sorry,
Google
nerding out
that.
right here.
I'm gonna go Google that, dude. I need full on insights on that shit. Like I'm intrigued
For
right now.
sure.
I'm
Yeah, my
super
mind
intrigued.
was blown. And like when you were younger, I don't know if you had that, but did you do the love meters when you were younger? Like you
Mm,
put two names in, and this random algorithm will like predict
yes.
how much of a percentage you fit together.
Yeah.
You can also do that with the natal charts. You can
No
filter one else,
ways.
and then you can see how compatible the planets were. I'm kind
Um,
of like upping the fantasy of me when I was younger.
it's a very interesting point though. Like it's so much deeper than just what we see, on the back
Yeah.
pages with the woman with the pink hair telling you about your future and everything. It's incredible how deep this stuff goes.
For sure. Like
You know,
when you think life has no purpose and you're like dwelling, and all of a sudden you realize that all the planets have these energies to them, and it's actually also inside of your own being. It's like,
yeah.
okay, a lot of people don't believe in that concept, but when you get into it, it's crazy accurate. So that's the thing that spaces me out so much.
Yeah, it's very incredible. Just looking at you being a musician, back home. I want you to tell me about what their feelings are towards you making music, because you did mention earlier on that you sort of have a job that you're doing this with to support yourself. So I'm pretty sure they're happy that you got a job. But
Yeah.
what about the music side? Are they like super stoked that you make music as well?
That definitely took a couple of years. I think I realized I wanted to be like the superstar slash musician was when I was really, really young. And this actually never really died inside of me, but I got really shy and kind of like introverted and anxious as fuck. Like I would want to sing, but my parents had never hear me sing, and I was too scared to sing even in the shower if they could hear it. So they didn't believe that I think that they didn't believe that I had what it takes to be a musician. And that stayed like that for a long time. Also, they didn't wish poverty upon me. They're like, okay, you're like really creative, so you got like two ways to go. You can either go art school or be a designer and shit, or you choose music and you're just gonna die without any money. That was kind of like the two-way that was presented with me. And I think they maybe saw one good performance that I did, which kind of changed their mind, I think, because they used to be at my first performances when I was like 14, 15, when my voice was trembling and I couldn't keep a pitch because I was like blacking out and my knees were weak. I have like terrible stage fright, so they just saw that side of me crumbling.
No, that's
But
really cool though. Like when one of the things that really stands out about you, I must say, like, is visually, you do a really good job, bringing forth something that's really pleasing to the eye in terms of the aesthetic that you go for, like your choice of hairstyle, or even in the Dysfunctional music video, your personality and everything like that. Who do you sort of draw inspiration from when it comes to those sort of aspects, and like the hairstyles you do, the earplugs and everything? Or is that just sort of something that's been built over time, through your experiences? Or would you say there is someone or maybe an era that you're inspired by, in terms of the aesthetic that you're going for?
first of all, massive thank you. Ever since I was a child, I was pretty drawn to alternative people. Always loved it. Always thought it was never a thing for me because I was a basic bitch. But I mean, everyone's born a basic bitch. So I don't know. I got into piercings at quite a young age, but also really just trying to figure out if my family was okay with it. I hadn't dyed my hair in ages because I was busy with other people, what they would think, and my family and blah blah. And eventually they kind of started wearing off. I think my inspiration definitely comes from daily life, people in the streets, how they dress. I must say the mullet haircut is Australia's fault. For sure. And the color, it's my favorite color, and I wanted to wear more colors. I think I got rid of everything black in my closet, which was basically first my whole closet was black and gray and boring and just kind of like wallflower items. And now everything's just like bam, pow, all the colors of the rainbow. And my hair is just colored with me, I guess.
Yeah, it's very unique. I think
Thank you.
it's definitely working. I feel like, in this conversation, we're almost at the end. I feel like I've just had so much fun just talking about whatever the hell with you. When one of the most important things about you and what you do is obviously the music. So we did touch a bit on Dysfunctional. Well, what are you working on? I mean, that would be the main push, I'd guess, because obviously, even if you go into your link tree, that would be one of the first thing that pops up, the music video, the actual track itself and all that. So are you working on any new music? Are you working on something else maybe that builds up, on Dysfunctional? What is next when we're focusing on your music for people who are fans like myself?
Oh, you're a fan. That's so cute. But yeah, I have loads of things coming. Things are going slow as fuck, I must say. I think I have 5 finished tracks. They're all collaborations. So they're either at the label or at the producer. It's just everyone's taking their time. I've done some artworks for some of the singles that will be coming out, but I have no idea when they're coming out. I think I know there's one release date in November, but all the other tracks were supposed to be coming out over the summer. So maybe it'll come in a few months. But I've got some puppy summer jams. Also working on my original songs and trying to produce those, because I have written, I think, 20 songs or more that are still not even really found on the internet. They're not on my Spotify or something. So I have loads to do. I have loads laying around. There's loads coming. There's going to be a video clip soon too. So I'm just busy with loads of things. So follow me, like, subscribe, stay tuned, please. Support your girl.
Wait. Before we close out, you mentioned a label there. Are you not an independent? Are you an independent artist, or are you under a label? Like, what's the situation?
I had one release with the label up until now, and there's going to be one more release with that label, but I'm not signed at the label. They just sign the singles. So they just get their percentages, and I hopefully get in the playlist, Yeah. But no, I'm not signed anywhere. I don't have management. I don't have a booker. I'm just by myself. That's the mood. Always doing everything myself.
96, aka Simone, I appreciate you having this conversation with me all the way from Netherlands. If people want to get in touch with you and stream your music and reach out for features and collabs, what are your social media handles?
It's at 96 Music on the gram. It's 96 on Facebook, 96 on the Spotify. It's like the word 96, not the numbers, no dashes, no spaces. It's pretty hard to find sometimes, but just keep on looking and you'll find me. But yeah, I would say the best way to contact me is through Instagram, and just DM me, have a chat, say hi. I'll get back to you. Please make a lot of messages, burn me out. I love it.
Awesome guys, and if you listen to this episode, it is available on Spotify, SoundCloud, and Apple Podcasts. We are Sludge Underground Podcast, and on social media we are at Sludge Underground and everything. Twitter at Sludge031. Please guys, do tune into more of the episodes, and please continue to follow 96 Music, Simone, on her impressive journey. And I don't know, Simone, what do you reckon we should close out with? Should we close out with Dysfunctional, or is there something else you'd like for us to close out with?
Oh, I actually heard that song a million times. So I would say maybe one more of my intimate songs. It's got 15,000 plays on its own.
Well done.
And it's my acoustic version of Cloud 9. That's also a song really, really close to my heart.
Hey, that is very beautiful. So we're going to play out with the acoustic version of Cloud 9. I hope you guys, you love it as much as I do. Until next time, it's bye for now.
We plant the seeds and watch them grow. With every moment, take it slow. Inhale the frustrations. Exhale positive vibrations. And I will blind you with my shine. I'll always make sure that I'm fine. just let things go. Express yourself, let emotions flow. That's how we should build our nation. Hope, peace, faith, love, and patience. And I will blind you with my smile. I will make it worth your while. But I won't try to make you mine, no. But you can join me on cloud nine. Yeah. Hey, 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 yeah. Hey, 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 yeah. Positive energy. It brings the vibe, it brings the beat on, yeah. A positive energy, yeah. 'Cause that's all that we need, and I will blind you with my shine. I'll always make sure that I'm fine. But I won't try to make you mine. But you can join me on cloud nine. Hey, 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 yeah. Sweet.